Hey there, movie fans. It is time once again for the MovieMantz Double-Feature. I'm your host, Scott MovieMantz. Now, normally on the Double Feature, I try to pick two films that have a lot in common that might not be obvious. On this edition, I'm going with two films that, other than the subject matter, don't have a lot in common. In fact, they're very different films because of the way the movies are made. And talk about a double feature that you can't refuse. How about 1972's The Godfather, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and 1990's Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese. The Godfather, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, came out on March 24th, 1972. Cost a little over $6 million to make. Domestic gross is $135 million. That includes reissues over the years. It's a winner of 3 Academy Awards for Adapted Screenplay, Best Actor Marlon Brando, and Best Picture. 8 additional Oscar nominations for Supporting Actor Al Pacino, Supporting Actor James Caan, Supporting Actor Robert Duvall. That is some category. Also Best Director for Francis Ford Coppola, Editing, Costume Design, Sound, and Score. Goodfellas, directed by Martin Scorsese, was released on September 19, 1990, cost $25 million to make. Domestic gross, $46 million. Academy Award winner, Best Supporting Actor for Joe Pesci, and then 5 more Oscar nominations for Adapted Screenplay, Best Picture, Director, Supporting Actress for Lorraine Bracco, and Editing. Now, why do these movies go together? Well, they go together because they complement each other. They're so fundamentally different in the way that they were shot and edited, the scores, the performances. Now, of course, both movies are based on books. The Godfather is based on the book written by Mario Puzo, whereas Goodfellas is based on the book Wise Guy written by Nicholas Pileggi. If you look at the screenplays, try and imagine the screenplay for The Godfather being like Shakespeare and the screenplay for Goodfellas being more like a graphic novel. Then there's The Mob. Both movies are about the mafia, but very different depictions of the mafia. The Godfather is more of a white-collar look at the mafia. Everyone's dressed really nice in very nice suits. Everyone is very respectful. The movie is about America. It is about family, and it is about loyalty. Then there's Goodfellas, which is more of a blue-collar depiction of the mob. Everyone's dressed very gaudy, like all the gangsters are showing off. And this movie is not about loyalty. It is about a rat named Henry Hill, who in the end sold everyone out to avoid going to jail. One thing these movies do have in common are hot-headed gangsters. In Goodfellas, you have Tommy, played by Joe Pesci. The "what am I funny" scene alone says it all about his character. And then there's Godfather, which has Sonny Corleone, who is also a hothead, and boy, did he pay the price. Then there's the editing. Both movies completely different in the way that they are edited. The Godfather, not a very heavily edited film. You're immersed into this world in the mafia. And the violence, you don't see a whole lot of it, but when you see it, it is disturbing. Goodfellas, completely different. Very heavily edited film. It's edited like a 2.5-hour adrenaline rush. And the violence, really in your face. The movie doesn't pull any punches. It's right there at the very beginning when you're in that trunk with Billy Batts. Really, really violent film, but both movies are great and are edited brilliantly. Then there's Michael Corleone versus Henry Hill. Both very different motives. Now, Michael Corleone did not want to be in the family business, and his family didn't want him there. His father didn't want him there. Everyone wanted something better for Michael Corleone, and it was only after Vito got shot that Michael got dragged into it. Henry Hill, on the other hand, couldn't wait to get into the family business. He even says it right in the beginning of the film. As far back as I could remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. Let's take a look at the music. Very different music for each of these films. The music in The Godfather is the beautiful, lush, exquisite score composed by Nino Rota. and starting with that mournful trumpet at the beginning of the film. Whereas Goodfellas, the score is, well, there is no score. It's a soundtrack made up of songs handpicked by Martin Scorsese to reflect the scene or the character. And these songs are either classic songs like Layla or more obscure songs like Speedo. And then there's the consequences. What happens to Michael Corleone by the end of this movie? He is ascended to the highest rank in the family and among all the families, especially after he gets rid of all the other crime bosses. And what about that ending? When Kay calls him out for killing his brother-in-law and he says he didn't do it, he lied to his wife, closed the door on Kay, and you have the ending credits with the beautiful, lush score. By contrast, the end of Goodfellas, Henry Hill and his wife Karen are living a meager life in a witness protection program. And how does that movie end? With Joe Pesci as Tommy unloading his pistol directly into the camera. The camera cuts to black, and you'll hear Sid Vicious singing his rendition of Frank Sinatra's My Way. What an ending to both of those films. Try to imagine The Godfather as the warm-up and Goodfellas as the full body workout. And when both of these movies are over, after you've watched them back to back, you feel great because you watched two of the greatest movies of all time. Completely different depictions of the mob that complement each other. And how's that for a double feature you can't refuse? What do you think? Do you agree with why I think these movies would make the perfect double feature? Comment below. Let me know other movies that you think would also make the perfect double feature on the MovieMantz Double-Feature. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MovieMantz. Please like this video if you liked it, and please share it with other movie fans. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also check out my other film series, Rank and File. The most recent episode, I ranked all the films in the Jurassic Park series. Until the next episode of the MovieMantz Double Feature, here's looking at you, kid.